A body under the name Coalition of Ebonyi State Frontline Governorship Candidates is lamenting the rate of insecurity, abuse of power, violation of human rights, and outright attack against opposition parties in the state by agents of the state government. Well, let's get...
Right, exactly. Let's get the government side of the story as we cross live to speak with the Ebonyi State Information Commissioner, Uche Orji. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight tonight. Well, from what we've been hearing from opposition candidates in your state, they're saying it is a descent to anarchy in Ebonyi. Exactly what is going on? Why are billboards being pulled down, and why are opposition politicians being attacked?
Thank you very much. Let me appreciate you for the opportunity to hear our own side of the story. I will say that it is usual of their tactics and antics in politics, and that is carrying out propaganda and falsehood against a very hard-working administration about their governor. It didn't start today, but I give it to them that, for me, I call it a product of political desperation. And that goes to show that they're already suffering from what I may call a campaign fever and election malaria. I say this because in Ebonyi State, we are known to be a very orderly, democratic state. And in Ebonyi State, everybody knows that it's the safest place in the southeast. If you come on Mondays, where you hear about sit at home in parts of southeast. In Ebonyi, it is not the case. You have never, and you can never hear about even high-profile killing in Ebonyi State. Far from it. We have got no such records. I think that the people that are carrying out this deliberate propaganda going to platforms, media, are well known to Ebonyi people. Let me take the case of the governorship candidate of APGA who contested the election in 2015. It was the same propaganda when he contested for Senate, and he lost woefully to a PDP candidate at that time. In 2019, when his boss, after appointing him graciously and in a pitiable manner, he had to resign in 2018 to contest for governorship election. He ran the letter of abuses and accusation against this wonderful governor whose records and hallmarks of excellence is celebrated across the nation. And yet this same man failed, lost at the primary level to an APC candidate who won in that primary election. He has started again by leading a coalition of 4 out of 13 number governorship candidates. In Ebonyi, we are so democratic that we allow political parties to exercise their freedom to aspire in different platforms. And out of these 13 that are candidates, only 4, and I know it's a conspiration and orchestration of the APGA governorship candidate who has decided to be jumping from the media house to the other instead of coming home to face his people. I want to tell you that all such information being given out are very unfounded and malicious.
Okay, all right.
No billboard has been pulled down except...
You are the Commissioner for Information for the current administration. We do not expect you to come and accept some of these accusations that have been laid against your government. But let us look at some of them. They accuse you of pulling down billboards. They accuse your administration of using the Ebube Agu, the local security outfit, to harass opponents. They accuse you of being intolerant to opposition. So let's talk about Ebube Agu, for instance. How is Ebube Agu being run to harass and arrest people of opposition? And why are their billboards being destroyed in the state?
Yeah, contrary to that very insinuation of falsehood, Ebube Agu is an establishment of law duly created by the State House of Assembly. And that is in line with the aspiration of the people of the Southeast that there should be something that looks like a security outfit, even though we operate a federating state. And the governor of Ebonyi State, being a responsible and responsive governor, had to constitute Ebube Agu in 2020. And of course, the necessary details of legislations were made. They have their powers, their limits, and even the sanction issues. That is to say, where they are, they have to be sanctioned. And these people that were appointed as officials of Ebubagu came from different communities and stakeholders, including, non-APC stakeholders, nominated these Ebubagu officials. And have been trained. They were trained by the police specifically. And they were told rightly that they have a collabo kind of, function to collaborate with the various security agencies. And that they have been doing diligently, not only with the police, with SSS, with other security and other paramilitary arms or agencies of government in the state. And I can tell you that since they merged, there has been a level of peace, decorum, and orderliness. These people know that part of their propaganda is to go to raise abstract issues. Let us discuss issues of policy, of government, issues of development. Why will the governor who is celebrated across the nation begin to think about somebody that has got no profile, no track records? The people have settled their mind on the APC governorship candidate. And that is right, Honorable Francis Ogbonna. We've got no issue. On the issue of billboard, save for issues of failure to pay necessary revenues, which are applicable in other states. In Anambra, for instance, where his party, APGA, is in charge as a government, I'm sure they are paid no less than 10 million per billboard, especially political billboard. But in Ebonyi, there is a little revenue that they have to pay. And these people have neglected, refused to pay. What will government do? The necessary agency will have to give them notices. And where they fail, refuse or neglect to pay the necessary revenue, the necessary MDA will have no option than to give them a notice, seal, or remove. That has been done in line with the law, including APC, where any candidate refuses or fails or neglects to pay the necessary revenue. What option does government have or government agency have than to remove? So our billboards, mind you, are not operated by government. The billboards in the Ebonyi State are operated by individuals. But you need to pay. The individual needs to pay. It's not even the candidate that will pay directly to government. It's the individual owners of the billboards. And where they fail...
if we can have a very quick, last point here. He did complain, talking about Bernard Odo, the APGA governorship candidate, that he reported to the police and the state government. What action has your government taken to address the issues that he's complained about? And he also talked about issues of governance in your state. A lot of wastage, according to him. Billions of naira spent on, he says 2.5 billion has been earmarked to celebrate Christmas and other things that he refers to as unnecessary.
Thank you. Let me start from issue of security. I watched from the tele where one of the APGA candidate was, raising alarm. For me, it was a false alarm because the man was the accuser, the victim, and there was a witness in the same bus, and there was no evidence of any attack from anywhere. All of a sudden, we saw vehicles being, pictures of vehicles sent to social media. But at that spot where that thing happened, they could not show us evidence that somebody was seen attacking them or attacking their vehicle. So for us, it's part of the castration to distract our government. So to sell cheap points to the public, come to talk about our development profile. I can say that you need to visit Ebonyi State because there's nothing I can tell you about what government has done.
Unfortunately, we're out of time. We have to thank you, Mr. Uche Orji, is the Information Commissioner for Ebonyi State. Is your right of reply. Thank you so much for gracing the occasion.